Imagine the horizon at dusk. A thin line of orange. A pale blue above it. The sun slips away. You stand there. You watch it go. The sky darkens. A single star appears. Then another. Then thousands. You breathe in. The air is cool now. This has happened before. 4 billion times. The sun has set on this world 4 billion times. And the horizon still remembers the light. Think of the first sunset. No eyes to see it. No mind to feel it. Just rock and water and a sky turning red for the very first time. The planet was young then. Boiling. Silent. The sun was smaller. The day was shorter. Maybe 6 hours long. The sunset came fast. It flickered. It vanished. And the horizon learned nothing yet. It was just a line. Just chemistry. Just light bending through an atmosphere of nitrogen and steam. But it kept happening. Day after day. Year after year. Million after million. The horizon watched oceans form. It watched continents drift apart like leaves on a slow river. It watched the first rainfall. The first storm. The first calm morning after. Then something changed. In a shallow pool somewhere. Or perhaps in a warm vent deep underwater. A single cell learned to copy itself. It was not alive the way you understand life. Not yet. It was a pattern. A habit of chemistry that refused to stop. And the sunsets kept coming. That first living thing had no idea what light was. It had no eyes. No nerves. But somewhere in its descendants, after 1 billion more sunsets, a cell learned to sense brightness. Just a little. Just enough to know which way was up. Another 1 billion sunsets passed. Now there were creatures with simple eyes. Cups of pigment that could tell light from dark. They did not see the sunset. But they felt the change. The world grew dim. They slowed down. They waited. The horizon kept teaching. More time. More sunsets. More life. 3 billion sunsets in, the sky was different. Oxygen had changed the air. The sunsets turned deeper red. The stars grew sharper. And now there were things in the water that could truly see. They watched the light fade through clear, shallow seas. They did not know what they were looking at, but they looked. The horizon gave them something to face, something to orient toward, a direction, a limit, a place where the world ended and the sky began. 2 billion sunsets ago, plants crept onto land. They were small at first, mossy, fragile, but they faced the sun. They turned toward it. They learned its rhythm. They stored its energy. And when it set, they rested. The horizon had a new student. Life was learning to wait, to endure the dark, to trust the return. 1 billion sunsets ago, the first forests rose. Towering ferns, giant horsetails. They breathed in what the world gave them. They exhaled what it needed. The air changed again. The sunsets grew more vivid, more color, more complexity. And under those ancient trees, small creatures moved. They had 4 legs. They had lungs. They had something like fear, something like curiosity. They watched the light change through leaves. They learned shadows. They learned that darkness brought cold, that dawn brought warmth. The horizon was patient. It asked for nothing. It simply showed up. Every rotation, every orbit, every slow turn of the galaxy. 500 million sunsets ago, the first flowers opened. They did not bloom for you. They bloomed for the insects that could see color, for the light that guided them, for the horizon that framed them. The world was getting noisier now. Birdsong at dawn, crickets at dusk, the sound of wind through leaves that had never existed before. 100 million sunsets ago, a great extinction came. The sky changed color for years. Not sunset, something else. Ash, dust. The horizon vanished behind smoke. Most life stopped learning, but some survived. Small things, hidden things, things that waited in burrows and in deep water. And when the sky cleared, the horizon was still there, still teaching, still showing the boundary between day and night, between what is seen and what is imagined. 60 million sunsets ago, the first primates looked up. They did not think about the future. They thought about the next branch, the next fruit, the next safe place to sleep. But their eyes were forward-facing. They saw depth. They saw distance. And on some evenings, they saw the sun go down. They felt something, not understanding, but feeling, a quietness, a slowing, a sense that the world was larger than the next moment. 10 million sunsets ago, early humans stood on savannas. The grass was tall. The sky was enormous. They had no words for horizon, no words for sunset, but they gathered at dusk. They faced the fading light. They huddled closer. They made sounds, not language yet, just presence, just being together in the dimming. The horizon taught them something social, something shared. A million sunsets ago, someone made a mark. A line in ochre, a hand pressed to stone. The first recording of having been here, of having seen this, of facing the same direction as others before and after. The horizon had a memory now, not its own, but borrowed, held in pigment and in minds. 100,000 sunsets ago, language bloomed. Now there were words for red, for dark, for the feeling of the day ending, for the star that appears first, for the cold that follows. People told stories about the light, about where it went, about what happened in the dark. They were wrong about almost everything, but they were right about the feeling, the awe, the smallness, the quiet. 10,000 sunsets ago, the first cities rose. Walls blocked the view, but people climbed. They went to rooftops, to hills outside the gates. They still watched. They still needed to see the line where earth met sky. 1,000 sunsets ago, someone measured the light. They wrote down angles. They calculated orbits. They learned that the sun was a star, that the earth turned, that the horizon was not an edge but a curve. The knowledge changed nothing and everything. The sunset was still beautiful, still sad, still full of a feeling that had no name in any language. 100 sunsets ago, you were born. You did not choose this time, this place, this body, but you got it. You got a mind that could notice, that could stand at the edge of a day and feel something move inside. You have seen perhaps 20,000 sunsets so far. Most of them you missed. You were inside. You were busy. You were looking down. But some you saw. Some stopped you. Some made you stand still on a beach or a rooftop or a quiet street and just watch. The horizon does not care if you watch. It does not need an audience. But when you do watch, something happens. You join a lineage, a chain of noticing that stretches back to the first light-sensitive cell in an ancient sea. You are the universe's way of seeing itself dim, of feeling the turn, of knowing, without words, that this day is gone and will not return. The sun you watch set tonight is the same star that has set 4 billion times. The same hydrogen fire, the same distant furnace. It has warmed every form of life that ever lived. Every bacterium, every tree, every person who ever stood and watched. And it will keep setting. For another 5 billion years, it will keep teaching the horizon. The earth will change beyond recognition. Continents will merge and split again. Species will rise and fall like breath. Civilizations will come and go, leaving only faint traces in rock and radio waves. But the horizon will still be there, still learning, still showing the boundary, still offering that moment when the light fades and the first star appears, and the air grows cool, and you remember that you are small, temporary, and completely alive. Imagine the horizon at dusk. It knows your name. It has been learning it for 4 billion sunsets. And it will keep learning it, quietly, long after you have taught the stars how to remember you.